So they've replaced the bells with cell phone towers. They say that the cell phone towers are safe, but there's been plenty of 1970s US Navy documents and Department of Defense documents showing that they're not safe. When the bells ring, number one, they can deter a storm, which I thought was really interesting when I was researching. People ringing bells to get rid of the storms in Europe. And then also, too, they could heal and harmonize the surrounding land. And you could also ring a bell if there's a weirdo in the town. You know, you can ring the bell and make people aware that there's some strange people trying to invade your town. It kind of worked for different purposes. And the other reason, too, during World War II, a lot of the bells were destroyed. But I started to notice that that was after World War II that a lot of the bells were destroyed. And a lot of these pictures of those bells, they have language written on them. They have all these different languages that I've never seen before. The one was a combination of Spanish and Italian, and it was some old language. And I started thinking, oh, okay, so if you remove this, now people don't see these cultures or these people who also used to exist. So you get into bells, and it's a pretty remarkable one the more you go down it.
I don't think we understand what the New World Order was. The New World Order was nothing but them covering up Tartaria for the last, God know how long, how many hundreds of years. It's been them just destroying the buildings. World War I, World War II. They're stealing bells. They're destroying all the bells. They're collecting the bells. Have you ever seen a bell tower? If you ever see a bell tower, you'd understand how much work it takes for you to go find the bell tower, go up to the bell tower, break or dismantle the bell, take the bell down. That's a lot of work. When I say a lot of work, they stole 170,000 bells. And they did that all to erase the resonance of the Tartarian protection system. A lot of people are always like, man, I don't understand how they were able to, because y'all got to understand the way we think is not how they were thinking. They're not war creatures. When you build beauty and grandeur and you're tapped into ether, and it's free energy. You understand? You don't need to take over another country to survive. Tartary was global. When I say global, it covered the whole entire landmass. It wasn't anywhere specific. It was one world civilization. Everything ran on ether. Everything. There was mercury churning everything everywhere. Everything was lit up. It was infinite. And so you have to put on a psychological level, you have to put your mind where their mind would. You have to put your mind in that world. I'm in a world where energy is free. If energy is free, that offsets a lot of different things. You have to understand that off rip. That offsets a lot of different things if energy is free. If energy is free, how can you capitalize off this world? How can you enslave people? You can't, you can't enslave people. People are allowed to roam free and they're allowed to explore the world. They're allowed to be adventurous. Actually, you're able to experience this world and this realm the way you see your characters in movie explore their world. You ever just see them? They just go out there and they're going everywhere and they're exploring this whole world and they're having this fun. You're like, yo, don't they have a job? And it's just like, nah, they're exploring this world. Like your characters in anime. That's how your life is supposed to be. But instead, somebody came along and they took away the beauty. Now, why do you take away the beauty? You take away the beauty because if you can steal the beauty, you can steal their creative element and steal their life source. You ever go into a town or a city that's beat down and you just look around, how do you feel? You feel depressed. You feel like crap. How would it feel if you looked around and all of your beautiful structures had curvature and archways, and you'd feel the same way you feel when you're in a castle. It would feel grand. It would feel majestic. It would feel beautiful. It would give you hope. That's the kind of world you're supposed to experience. A world of grandeur, a world of beauty. A world that makes you seem like the impossible is possible. It makes it seem like everything on a creative level is absolutely infinite. So that when you see and you walk inside of these things, you have a certain feeling of nostalgia that gives you life. It resonates with you. It makes you feel good. It calms your soul, lowers your cortisol levels. When you're in an environment like this, it's just naturally healing. Why? Because it's not a building you're in. You're inside of a womb. On a biometric tachyon level, you are inside a womb, and the energy that comes off of this structure basically reconfigures your cells almost as if the air in here is stem cells. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you're inside something like this, it's beyond your comprehension on a 3D level. This is 4D right here. All of this is supposed to be activated. This isn't for no book or no religion or no people to come and sit down. You see that? That's alive. They did not want you to feel that. They don't want you to understand this technology. They don't want you to know they stole this from you. They don't want you to know that. That's the entire New World Order. Cover Tartaria. It's not the biggest conspiracy in the world. It is the only conspiracy in the world. It's a one-world civilization built on beauty and free energy. Nothing else. And at this point, the truth, the truth is out the bag. You can go to court with me on this one. You can't prove to me you built this building. Because you ain't build the building. Because you ain't have the materials. Because you can't build the building now. So everybody needs to undo the spell and stop walking around respecting these people who wrote themselves up as the builders. That shit's out the window. It's a wrap. All of that shit is over with. All your history teachers is just sitting there lying to you. I don't know why you're paying tuition. But when the mind's blind, the eyes can't see.